Hi everybody, my name is Richard. I've been invited to give the opening statements, okay, for this session. She needs to record, so I can tell dirty jokes first. Sorry, no, dirty joke must be recorded. Okay, yeah. Just let me put this in where it's supposed to be, so that my hands can be free. Okay, when I was requested to do the opening statement by one of the members of the organizer, they're very sensitive. The first thing they tell me, don't think that you are old. You are not. But we like you to share your experience. Everybody here. I'm not old, I'm only 50 years young. 50-year-old young. Okay, thank you. According to the government's things, I'm supposed to live till 86. So I still have 36 more years to go. So I just passed the things. I just want to tell you a little bit. Okay? Somebody gave to me, my dear friend Clary. Okay, she said, Uncle, I got a present for you. They all call me Uncle Pang. Okay? I was so happy because they said, vitamin pills. I said, so thoughtful of her. Then I take, after she left, I took a closer look. Senior formula. I look at the smaller print. For men over 50. I'm going to be 50 this 11th of August. So I will take my first pill on the 11th of August. Okay. Basically, today's session, as you know, has to do with twilight years. Okay? Have to do with aging. But personally, I don't like to use the word aging gracefully. Because the moment I was born, I'm aging already. Okay, I'm starting to age. So we are actually putting a label on a process, okay, that we are supposed to age gracefully. So when do we start to age gracefully? 50, 60, 70, on level. Okay? I'm invited here not to define the word age gracefully, but basically to share some of the life experience I've gone through. Okay? Which to me is still a little bit, but enough to be able to share with you some of the things that as I go along in my life, I realize what I should be doing, what I can do better, and if I'm to be able to live this life again, what I think I can do better. Okay, I came from not a very poor family in the sense that we got nothing much to eat. I came from a family that we have sufficient education, we have food on the table, etc., etc. Of course, I don't have the luxury to buy many things that my classmates wanted or had, but then I didn't crave for those things because of what my mother told me. This is what we have, this is what we live. So from young, I have certain values inculcated in me to say that, look, this is a thing you can do, this is a thing you can do. Of course, I have the same input that all of us have. Don't talk to stranger. You're not supposed to do this thing. Kids are to be seen and not heard. That kind of things. Yeah. Then, as I grew older, I became teenager. I had my own troubled teenager years. I don't agree with everything that my parents said. Okay, and I rebel, etc., etc. But I turned out none the worse. Then. I went to a Catholic church when I was a very troubled teenager, and I went up to the priest and said, I want to learn about Christianity because it's supposed to help. Okay, I learned under him for 3 years. He taught me a lot. He taught me a lot about human life, values, etc., which my parents were not able to teach them because I was rebelling. And these values have carried me throughout the years until now. And it will probably continue to let me use them, okay, to be able to use them. So the point I'm getting at is nothing to do with whether it's Christian values or it's Buddhist values, but basically it's human values that we need to move along. And then I joined the army, regular soldier, okay, and I gave up Christianity because there was a conflict in me. Okay, one moment in the army as a regular, I'm taught to kill. Then Sunday I go to church and say, please God forgive me for all I have sinned, and then including killing, I can't reconcile. So I said, okay, something got to give, yeah. Either I believe in a religion, I give up my career, or I take my career and give up my religion. So I gave up religion. I became a free thinker. So what in my mind is, I'm only trained to kill as a soldier. Of course, we do many other things besides learning how to kill. Okay? And after I rose very fast in the army. Yeah, I became one of the very top ranking officer in the army. And after I achieved what I wanted, I left the army. I resigned. I gave up my pension, I gave up my CPF and everything. People thought I was mad, okay, because I had such a wonderful career in the army. If I have not left, I'm still in the army now. Okay, but people ask me, okay, do I regret? Okay, did I ever regret? Because if I have stayed on in the army, I would have been somebody already. And I told them there's no regrets, because when I went in the army, I wanted to do something. And I have achieved that. Okay? And after that, I said, okay, it's time to leave. Because there's something else better to do. So I went into business. Okay? I became a so-called car contractor. All the clean toilet, mop toilet, all this. But I did it in Changi Airport. Okay? Which is the best airport in the whole world, actually. So you go to the airport, you see toilet clean, floor clean, glass clean. It's because actually not people like me, but because of the cleaners. Okay, they are paid $700-800 a month just to clean toilet, to make sure that we all have comfortable toilet to sit. Okay, of course I'm the planner. I plan things for them, I buy things for them, etc. Okay, so I became one of the top-notch contractor. Okay, because again I wanted to do something which I aimed for. Okay, and then few years ago, something happened. I lost everything. Okay, I lost everything that I have ever worked for. Okay, I lose it because I wanted to give it up. Because my partner wanted me to do unethical things, something that is not, which is against my values as a person and also as a Buddhist. So I decided that I'd rather sacrifice myself and my family than to sacrifice other people. So I give it all up. And then I also ask, do you regret it? Okay? I can stand here and tell you that I don't regret it, because it is something that I don't believe I'll do. Even if I've done it, I probably sit down here and regret it. Okay, I probably sit down here and say, I won't be able to stand in front of you and say, I'll be too ashamed to tell you things like that has happened. But I'm able to tell you this not because I want to glorify myself, but because I felt that as we move along the years, we pick up our experience, we have values, okay? Things that we have done, there are many things we've done, we rejoice. There are many things that we've done wrongly, okay? Many of us tends to regret, okay? And then when you regret, what happens? You don't forgive yourself. And when you don't forgive yourself, we have a lot of problems in our mind. And every day we are fighting with ourselves. Okay? So, along the way I learned, okay, that to forgive, okay, is divine. Okay? It's not easy to forget. And we will probably not forget because it's in the mind. It's very hard to eradicate it. But we just don't want to bring it up. So, because of the mind, recently I went to attend, to get training. I'm a certified hypnotherapist. What is that? It's using hypnosis to do therapy. Okay, because I believe very strongly that in the mind, we are all, everything we do, say, okay, and think are all recorded in the mind. And the mind, whatever we are using now, is only maybe about 5%. The other 95% are all hidden inside there. But whatever that has happened in our life, don't talk about past life, but in this life, all recorded in the mind. Many people feel anger, not able to forgive, okay, jealous, okay, or wanting to do something more because there's something in their mind they can't let go. Okay, so, and being a Buddhist, I felt that it is very important to work on the mind. Okay, to sit down and meditate is one way, to listen to the Dharma is another way, but there are also alternate ways for non-Buddhists to be able to have a clear mind. Then you know what to do. So that's why I went for the course and training and get certified, and so that we can move on. So this is something that I felt really I wanted to do. Okay, probably for the next, I don't know, down the road, 5, 10, 20 years kind of thing, or maybe until I die. But basically, you will find that as we aged, I use the word age, more towards our senior years, okay, the foundation that we built when we are young is actually very important. Okay? When I lost everything, okay, there are a few things I didn't lose. Number one is I didn't lose myself. Okay, I still have my dignity, my values, etc. I didn't lose my family because my family suffered, but we were eating together. They understand. My children, the elder one, was a bit affected in their studies, again, unfortunately, but we provide the support as we go along. I didn't lose my friends, which many of you are here, okay, in this room, and many of them are not here too, okay, because this is a very strong support base. It's very important. So, as we move along in life, especially for the young ones who are here, it's very important to build up your network of supporters, support base, people who can give you very strong support despite whatever that can come that happen to you. Okay, you may not feel it, but you will know that it's very important. For all of us who are in the senior years, it's still not too late. We can still build the support base. Okay, you can build the support base not only with the people of your age group, but of people who are younger. The reason why I'm so young is because all these support base are also young. Okay, I got no choice. Okay, the reason why I'm so young is because my wife keeps me young. We do it every other night, kind of thing, you know. Okay, and of course my children. I have 2 teenage children. Okay, they are very young. I have 2 younger ones, 7 years, 8 years old. We're also very young, so I have no choice but to train myself to be young so that I know how they think and so that I can understand them. So for people like us who are gracefully aging, okay, a lot of us think that, oh, it's time to retire. It's time to take things slower. Okay, all these are the myths that people tell us, and we believe it. When we believe it, what happens? We start to do things slower. Okay, we start to walk slowly. So we start to sit in front of TV and stare until the whole screen goes. Nowadays don't, because 24 hours. But last time it was, then you wake up, oh, like that, oh, go and sleep, oh, go and sleep. Okay? So because people tell us, Mom, Dad, you're old, slow down, retire, go and enjoy yourself. Yes, true, enjoy yourself, not necessarily to be slowed down. Okay, of course, bodily, physically, certain things we can't do. We can't do every other night kind of thing. But other than check this last week. Okay, but what I meant to say is that it's all in the mind. Okay, and the body controls the mind. Okay, you'll find that a lot of our sickness, pain here, and all this kind of thing is a result of what we kept in the mind. If you are able to open it up, okay, and share, or to seek some help and clear this, you'll find that a lot of this are gone, will be gone. Okay? So I can't steal the thunder away from the Lama. Okay? Or else I can talk for a long time anyway. Okay? So I will introduce you to Lama. The other thing that I didn't lose is actually my Lama. Okay, I know Lama now about 13, 14 years. He was a very young man then. Okay? I was also young, not very young. And over the years, he has taught me many things. Okay? And one of the reasons why I'm still standing out here is because of him. Because he is a mountain of support. He doesn't necessarily use the Buddhist way of so directly and tell you this is Buddhism. You follow this, you should get 100% go to heaven. No? Okay? It won't happen. Okay? But he has been able to help many people, including myself, okay, how to live life, how to enjoy life, okay, and even up till the moment of death, we know how to enjoy, okay, we know how to let go and we know how to enjoy, and that is the most important part. So I'll give you Lama now, and he will continue to give you more insights.
Today we are going to talk about the Twilight Zone. This thing sounds a little bit funny today. So what's the Twilight Zone? It is one part of our life where we will definitely go through. Whether you like it or not, you are going to go through it. Some people fortunately do not have to go through it. There are those who die young. Okay, it's okay to laugh. Huh? Okay, don't freeze up. So one thing I want to bring up is that in Buddhism, okay, there is a lot of talk about suffering. Okay, but we are not here to talk about suffering, because I think you all know more about suffering than I do. You all suffer more than me, isn't it? No? Everybody suffers more than me. I don't suffer at all. All I do is to eat, sleep, and shit. So we are here today to discuss and talk about living a full life and no room for regrets. So what does it mean about no room for regrets? First, we have to ask ourselves, have you all currently are already living a life having some regrets? Who has no regrets in life? Or who's got regrets in life? Regret marrying the wrong bugger. Okay? Regret. That's the one of the biggest regrets, isn't it? Marry the wrong bugger. Regret eating what you were eating before. Right? Regret making some decisions in life, and then now you cannot turn back. Right? You cannot turn back. Either because of your face, you cannot turn back, or there is another one, is your clock. You cannot turn back the clock. Okay? So, when I say living a full life, I mean living a full life means living a life without regrets. Now it's easy to say to live a life without regrets. But in actuality, it takes great amount of guts to do so. Okay? Why? Because people will always judge you. Or you think people will judge you. Sometimes people may not judge you, you know why? Who cares? Isn't it? Who cares about you? Everybody today is only thinking about themselves. Who has time to care for you? Only a very irritating person, which is probably your lama, is the one that is always irritating you. Okay, he will ask you the meanest questions that you do not know how to answer. Okay? But generally speaking, people who show care are either your family members. Sometimes family members don't even care. Isn't it? Right. Your loved ones, or maybe your long-time friend. In Singapore, I feel there is no such thing as real friendship. I feel. Why? Because most of us are born, living. When we are born, after that you go back to your village, which is your HDB flat. Okay, where you do not have any sense of culture, belonging, or anything at all, isn't it? Unlike maybe in China or Malaysia, people from big countries, they have a sense of belonging. They will say, oh, I'm from this state, this village, okay, by whichever surname or whichever clan or whichever culture. How many of you are involved in clans today? Anybody from your own surname, clan? Oh, different. It's not. You are not by choice. Your father put you in. Okay. You are probably also not even very involved in it, isn't it? So there is no protectionism. You do not have this sense of being protected You do not have this sense of belonging. So therefore, I feel today people do not have that strong sense of caring today. So that which may lead to going into a very indifferent mode of life today. Most people are indifferent. So when they say that you make decisions, do people care? Who cares? No, you are afraid what people say about you. What people say about you. Why do people migrate to modern cities like Singapore, like New York, like America? People from, or in China. You are from this part of China, and then they will go to the farthest another area in China where you have no contact, isn't it? Why do people migrate? Why do people go somewhere else? So that they can break free from them all. Here, we are born into an area where we are already free from it. So we have become a very new culture, indifference. Okay? Now, looking into this current culture of indifference, which means nobody cares, okay? Which also means freedom. This is your opportunity that you can live a full life, where you can make decisions that you will not live to regret. But currently, okay, we are still under the traditional idealism where we will always have to be wary of what other people say. Correct? You are living your life under this hallucinative idea that other people have something to say, or you have to live your life so that other people will be able to approve of you, to approve you. Oh, you are good. That's the right way to do it, and stuff like that, isn't it? Right? You are all living this life. So therefore, even when you become an adult, you have to ask your parents or your relatives, this like that can or not? Like that can or not? Isn't it? Right? You do not even dare to make a decision. First of all, to live a full life, you must be prepared to make your decisions and be responsible for it. Now, I come from a modern society like you, but I was trained and educated in a feudalistic society in Nepal and India. Okay? This feudalistic society, in fact, in Singapore, it is still a feudalistic society. Okay, where there are feudal lords. Okay? Who are the feudal lords? Actually, we also don't know. We just think that we have to do things the right way. If not, something bad is going to happen to you. Isn't it? Right? Now, I know what is the difference between a modern society and a traditional feudalistic society. Okay, like in the times when I spent in India and Nepal, right? People treat other people like servants. They have an expectation that things are supposed to be done like that. Okay? That was how the old China was and how old Tibet was. That I know. Okay? Currently now, whatever we are studying, especially we are studying today, in our generation, it is to fill up something that was missing in the past. Okay, what we are practicing and what we are discussing now is to fill up something that is missing in the past. What was missing? In the past, there was a lot of talk about having to have filial piety, having to do things the right way. What is the right way? The right way was to do it the way that everybody would be happy, that everybody would be So everybody will approve of you. Everybody will say that it's good. Okay? In actual fact, what they were doing may not be right. Maybe that was only what was culturally right, but may not be morally right. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? For example, what was culturally right was to offer sacrifices in ancient Tibet. Okay? Now I just zoom back. Tibet always like to talk about one princess from China that married into Tibet. That is called Princess Wenchen Gongzhu. Okay? They always like to talk about this one. So she brought all the modern, the latest culture from China to Tibet. Okay? But for the Chinese side, it's like, you know, Tibet was called Tubo. Okay? In Chinese, Tubo Wang. Okay? Songshan Gampo is Tubo Wang. Okay? Traditionally, this is Old Tibet, where the people are quite wild. Okay? I wouldn't say quite wild. I would say very wild. So many clans, okay, fighting amongst each other. When they capture the other ones, the rest of the other clans became slaves. Okay? That was the right thing to do. Socially right thing to do. Was that something that was morally right? You don't know. But at that time, even if people felt that it was the wrong thing to do, they had to do it. For example, offering to the gods, okay, offering to their gods human sacrifices. That's why in Tibet, you can see there are so many scary paintings of having skulls and eyeballs and intestines and everything. That is historically correct. That was how they used to sacrifice human beings to their gods. Shamanism, which is not Buddhism, shaman. Okay? Which the Mongols and Manchus, they adopted the same religion until the Qing dynasty emperors also practiced shamanism. Okay? They have a hall where they prayed to the shaman gods. Okay? Samanjiao. Okay? So that is something that was culturally the right thing to do. Everybody would be happy if you caught a foreigner and offered a foreigner as a human sacrifice. But that, can you say today that that is the right thing to do? Or can we say today if that is the morally right thing to do or the culturally right thing to do? This is what I'm saying. This is what we are talking about today. In our current times, there will still be some things where will make you live a difficult life. So what is this difficult life that I'm talking about? This difficult life would be the topics or the situations or the conditions in life that you face, which only you know, okay, that makes you unhappy, makes you not know whether to change the situation or not. Okay? For example, I want to say a little bit about what you can do. If you are able to make some decisions in life which other people cannot make, you should make it. Bearing the right thoughts, okay, and the right motivation, you should make the decision so that you will not have any regrets in life. That will be living a full life. Because if you are in a position that you say, okay, let's make this decision, let's do this, let's do that, then don't wait. Don't keep on waiting and dreaming of how that things would sort out by themselves. Always we have a saying, time will heal things, isn't it? Right? After some time, things will be alright. How many years would that be? 10 years? 20 years? Can you wait? Or do you think if you stood up said something, make a decision, even if it's a radical decision, you can live a happier 10, 20 years of your life. Okay? So this is what only you can do if you have the guts to do it. Okay? For example, I have never given such talks. Okay? I have never given such talks. It's been a very foreign thought for me when somebody said, when people said, oh, Lama, you should give talks, non-religious talks. Okay? It is something that is very foreign for me. I always only give Dharma teachings. Okay? But I had to make a decision. Yes, not many people would want to come before the Lord or come to the temple to listen to the good advice. Okay? But maybe people will go to somewhere else that's neutral and listen to the good advice. You see, because people always have a thought that, oh, going to for temples, to teachings, is like, oh, you have to become vegetarian, dress in black, shave your hair bald, you know, right? And then Omitohut all the time, right? So these things not only were the norm in the past, they have to change and they must change. So I am changing them now. Right? I do not need to seek the approval of others. Okay? Maybe other people may be thinking that, oh, I'm doing crazy things. But I'm doing something that I know very clearly in my heart that it is for everybody's benefit. Times are changing. Isn't it? 100 years ago, how did people read the time? Huh? Sundays. Sundown? Probably some people still use sundown, the poorer people, okay? Or they probably will have people walking the streets, knocking things, okay, to tell the time, right? But 100 years ago, 1908, quite many people will already have watches. Of course, your watch and my watch, the speed is different, okay, depending on the quality, right? So, if you want to live a full life, you must make the right decisions now. And who can tell you what is right? Nobody. You know deep in your heart what is right. I have seen and gone through many things in my life to know that many people do not dare to make any decisions because nobody wants to be the bad person. Correct? Who wants to be the bad person? Everybody just wants to be the good person. Everybody just wants to have a good name and have this and have that. Correct? No? But nobody wants to be the bad person. But you know for sure that somebody in your life was the bad person. Okay? You may not like the bad person because of the radical changes the bad person made, but you actually deep in your heart respected the guts of the bad person. Isn't it? Right? And you also respected because you respect the so-called bad person because that bad person stood up for what was right. Isn't it? Okay? So, of course, this so-called bad person may not necessarily be bad. We say bad person because he is not following the tradition, the ancient culture, ancient tradition, which can be a whole lot of rubbish. Okay, whole lump, big lump of fat, big lump of rubbish. For example, I just came back from China yesterday and I went to visit the Temple of Heaven where the emperors would make offerings of cows to heaven. Okay? They would kill the cows, they bury the blood, and then offer the cows to heaven, and then after that with silk and jade, they would burn the cows. Right? So Joshua kept on asking me, saying, oh, is this the right thing to do? Does it benefit them and this and that? I said, Joshua, think properly. Do you think killing the cow would benefit the cow? Right? Even if the king didn't like to do it, okay, he would probably have no choice, because it was a tradition of Ming Dynasty, which the Qing rulers had to continue because they wanted to unify the country. So what is the right thing, what's the wrong thing? Something like that. You understand? Right? Culturally, you must do this, you must do that. Think, is it still necessary in this modern age and time? Many things are already outdated. You can understand and know that they are part of the culture, but that has got nothing to do with the betterment of your life. Nothing to do with it. Okay? One thing I can say for sure, the Nepali kings have been killing buffaloes, okay, to offer to Duga, okay, with this Kruger knife, right? Kill so many buffaloes every year. What happened? His own son killed his whole family. After that, the brother took over the kingdom. Now Nepal has no king. Now Nepal has no king, yeah? The king's finished, gone. Right? So, all these offerings of killing and this and that, you know. So if you look at what other countries, you know, the so-called maybe like European countries, Christian countries, they don't kill, and the countries are also doing fine. Right? So, when we say living a life of regret, is whether you dare to step out of your comfort zone. Draw a circle, okay, imaginary circle, or draw a circle in the paper, okay, and write down all the things that you are comfortable about now in your life. What is it that you are not comfortable about? I can tell you what they are. They are all the things that you cannot control in your life. For example, aging. You cannot control that. Next point, death. You cannot control that. You also cannot control, no matter how many great offerings that you can make to all the gods, you cannot control your loved ones from dying. Isn't it? You also cannot control who rules over your land. Unless you are a great politician, or unless you want to do something about it, right? But if you are just a normal person like you and me, who can control what's happening? The laws and stuff like that. Okay? These are some things that you cannot. This is out of your comfort zone. So if we move, today I'm going to let you move into one part of this uncomfortable area, that is death. Okay? Now, most people think that death means finish. Right? Most people think death means finish, gone. That's the end of life and time for tears. Okay? I'm living every day in my life thinking about death and thinking about how I want to look like next life. I'm living my life thinking about where I want to be reborn the next life. I'm still deciding. Every time I travel, I'm still deciding where I want to come back.